now it's time to completely disassemble the grip/lower part of the TP22. And let's get started by first removing the magazine, and we will take apart the two pieces by pulling this down. We slide it forward and away from it. Not like the typical Glock where you just rack it and go, all the way forward. It's a little bit different. This is a separate video. If you are interested in how to disassemble this part, the slide, you have to click the other video. Now we are focusing on this thing. And we will start with punching out 4 pins. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pins. Look closely and you will be able to see that this side has little serrations on it. You don't want to punch the pins from this side. You want to punch it from this side away from the serrations because you don't want to drive them all the way through. That would lead to some unwanted damage. Basically, you would drive the thicker end through the whole thing, which we don't want. All right, let's try just by hand. It's a little bit hard, so we will get it started with just a light tap. 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, there is the table, so we just want to get it started. And now we can just push them all out. Just like so. And now we take them out. You don't really have to keep track of them because 3 of them are the same. So these are the same length. And the short one goes right here in the grip. So that's how you can tell where they go. And now we'll be able to lift these 2 blocks away or out of the grip. So we will just do that. And just like that, we got pretty much all the internals from the TP22. There is this little thingy that is locking the slide from below. You can remove it. It's absolutely unnecessary. It's spring-loaded. I would advise you to leave it there, but if for some reason you removed it, I will show you also how to put it back together. Now, this shell is completely empty. The only thing that is left in there is the magazine release, which you can reverse. Right now I have it on the right side for left-handed people. I can also show you how to put it back to the other side. There is a little spring. You just slide it away from the lock. You will see there is like a notch. You just take it, pull it out, and now we can remove this. And we also remove the spring. Just like that. All right, and now it is still one more screw for this. This is super simple. Remove it, remove it. You can put a mag well on there. I'm just gonna leave it there. All right, now let's continue with the fun part, which is right here. If you are changing a trigger, for example, for the more competition speed trigger, we will be removing this pin. And now basically everything kind of not really falls apart, but we can make it fall apart. Let's take this. Notice how the spring is in there, just like so. It's good to remember or even take pictures of how things are together for the subsequent assembly. I already know how it comes together, but I would advise to document. Here we have another pin. Again, I'm trying to locate the serrated end. I believe this is the correct direction. And yes, here are the serrations. So we'll punch it out and again, take it apart. Now there is 1 screw left, and that one seemingly doesn't do anything. If you remove it, you will notice that it's kind of just chilling there. This screw is there to actually lock the barrel, so this part, on this. So It's there to make the tolerances smaller. If your barrel is wobbling a lot, you can just unscrew this, which will make it tighter. So that's why the screw is in there. I'm gonna just screw it back in place. This is for your information. We don't need it for the disassembly. All right, trigger is completely apart. And now, the trigger box. We will need a Allen key that fits right here. Yes, this is the correct size. All right, before we start disassembling this, you have to ask yourself a question. Are you a patient person? Are you willing to get potentially angry and fiddle with this for quite some time? If the answer is yes, we can go ahead and disassemble that. If you are absolutely not a patient person, you will probably have a hard time putting this back together. It is absolutely possible. I will show you how to do it. It's not rocket science, really. But think twice before you start removing these, because it might not be easy for you, depends how skilled you are, to put it back together. So, with that out of the way, let's just start disassembling. Now we take the side of the safety, the right side, we take it off, even marked with right, and after you pull this out, it will just fall apart, okay? Be aware of that. Take a couple of pictures so you know how things go together. Here is a pin that makes the clicking for the safety. So we just take that out. And now I'm just gonna go ahead. And there is no way back now. All right. Again, try to pull everything out slowly so you know in which direction or orientation these springs go. It's very important to know how it goes together. As next, we will take this spring out. As you can see, now it just jumped out. We can punch this one out. Again, notice how the spring is in there. And this one goes out from this side. Again, there is a little spring in there. Try to notice the direction of it. There we go. The spring was sitting in there like this. So this is how we would put it back in. And last but not least, this one is held in place with a Phillips head. We don't need this for disassembly, but if we would want to disassemble it, unscrew, take, screw in. That's pretty much it. Apart from that, the trigger housing is completely empty. And now we will go to the next video, which is making some sense of all the parts, and we will put it back together.